Men's team are back in action today. We are in the Academy Stadium, so we're just a stone's throw away from the Etihad Stadium for today's 1 o'clock kickoff against Girona. You can watch this game live on City Plus if you are a member, or you can get it on our recast channel as well. So have a look on there. You are not going to want to miss this game. It's been 5 weeks, 5 long weeks since we've last seen our men's team in action. Now you'll see here 2 familiar faces for Matchday Live, and then I'm sure you're very delighted and happy to see another face just joining us. Not for the whole show, sadly, but welcome, Cole. How are you?
Good, yeah, a bit cold, but yeah, I'm good.
I feel like as the mank of the team, you're probably all right with this, because we just saw Riyad Mahrez and a few of the other players walking past shivering a bit. But I bet you're all right. You're a mank.
Yeah, but I'm still no one stronger than the weather, are they? So I'm still cold.
How's the last 5 weeks been for you? Have you been on holiday? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I went on holiday when we first broke up, and then I went to the F1 in Abu Dhabi. Came home and then went back to Abu Dhabi for the training camp. So yeah, it's been good.
Oh, nice. And now back, 5 weeks, we're back today. We've got the friendly today against Girona before we go straight back into it. How are you feeling? How is the group of players that are here feeling?
Yeah, everyone's ready, I think. Just been training hard, waiting for the others to get back. And yeah, hopefully we can kick on like we left off.
So tell me, are you guys using today's game to really get the rhythm back? Or like what's today's purpose for what you think for yourself?
Yeah, I think just get rhythm back, you know, get used to playing again, 90 minutes. Obviously, it's a match, a proper game, good opposition. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good game.
How was it, having the 5 weeks break, you know, because it's unprecedented this time of year with the World Cup and everything else. So, did you find it refreshing, or did you just want to keep going?
It was different because, you know, we've never had a break in, like, mid-season, have we? But, yeah, it was good, to be fair. Obviously, in summer, there's, like, the Euros, under-21s coming up and, like, loads of international fixtures. So, I don't think there's going to be much of a break then. So, yeah, it was nice to get a little break in the season.
Got one more little question for you. Now, you played a game at the Etihad. You done this little pass where the defender was anticipating the pass and you sort of hit it into the ground over. Like, that was ridiculous. Is that stuff you do in training as well?
In rondos, I've done it a couple of times, but I don't know, it was just instinct. I just tried it and
natural ability.
Natural ability.
Yeah.
Cole, I'd love to keep you for the whole of Matchday Live, but I feel like I might get in trouble with your boss. Maybe. So I think we better let you go. It's starting to rain and we don't want you to get a cold. But thank you so much for coming out and joining us. Thank you so much. Have a good game today. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, that's Cole Palmer joining us there. I feel like he would like to have stayed for the whole show there. I feel like he was getting into that.
He was, but I think he'd won another jacket as well.
Yes, yeah. I like that. He is the mank of the group, but I did like that. No one's stronger than the weather. He's got some lines, hasn't he?
He is.
Yeah, he has. Well, he's a wedding show boy, isn't he? So, but no, it's just great to see him. I know we're going to do the team news in a little bit, but great to see him, especially in quite a few of the younger lads in the squad today and getting some game time out there.
So you were just seeing there behind us on the pitch, just to the right of us is the boss. So it's a good thing we let Cole go there. I feel like we would have got in trouble. You can see them sort of standing around having a nice chat there. But I'll give you guys a proper welcome now, because we had Cole straight away. But of course, joined on Matchday Live today by Shaun and by Paul Dickov. I've missed your faces. It's been 5 weeks since the Premier League finished, Shaun. How have you found the last 5 weeks?
Well, I have enjoyed it because, you know, you've been able to watch a bit of the World Cup, but I have been missing, you know, the Premier League and getting back into it. So, you know, to have this game, preparing again for the games coming up, I'm looking forward to it. I have been missing it as well.
How's your 5 weeks off been, Paul?
Yeah, it's been good. I've loved watching the World Cup, but nothing like getting your Man City fix, you know. I've missed it. I've missed the Premier League, missed coming and watch these fantastic players playing, and we've missed you as well, Nat.
Oh, yes. Thanks, guys. I did say I'd missed you, and then you didn't say anything, Goat.
I know. I'm so sorry. We've missed you. We have.
Well, it is lovely to see you both and nicely wrapped up warm. So the team are arriving inside the Academy Stadium today. They are wrapped up. There's Ilkay Gundogan, the sensible one with his body warmer and his hat. I feel like Kevin De Bruyne should have some more clothes on there. It is absolutely freezing here at the Academy Stadium. No matter where you are around the world right now, if you do not know, we have freezing temperatures in Manchester. It's been as low as -7, -8 this week. I feel like though there will be some people at home that are like, that is normal. So that is why the players are slightly shivering there. there. We will be giving you the team news in just a second as well. Let you know who you can watch today. And don't forget, this game is available on City Plus. If you remember there, if you're not, get yourself signed up nice and quickly to watch the game. Or indeed, you can watch the game on our Recast channel. So we'll give you some team news for today. So, of course, a few of the players that had come back from the World Cup slightly earlier were available, as well as a couple of the players that hadn't have travelled to the World Cup, whose countries hadn't got to the World Cup as well. So here is your team news for today's 1 o'clock friendly against Girona. So in goal, it is Ortega. And then you've got a back four, a right back, you've got Lewis, and then centre back, what we think is Katonga, and then Charles, and then Gomez at left back. And then you're looking into midfield of Gundogan, De Bruyne, and Cole Palmer, who we were just talking to. And then a front three of Mahrez, Rodgers, and Haaland. So that is your starting 11 for today. So essentially, the first team players that are here are playing, and then I'm so excited, as I'm sure that you all are, we are seeing some of our EDS players step up today as well. So Shaun, first of all, what was your straight away impression when you saw that team for today?
Yeah, when I saw the team, initially I was thinking, how is Pep going to balance this in regards to preparing the players for the games coming up? Does he use the momentum of the players, that were playing in the World Cup, the players that have been off, they've been training. Erling, I'm sure, have been, keeping himself ticking over, making sure he's right. So getting that balance. But looking at the team, always excited to see Mahrez there in and around it. So really excited. Gundogan and De Bruyne being there. How it looks as though it would be two in midfield, but we never really play sort of two holding. So be interesting to see, what system we play essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just think it's great to see the players back. As you said, Natalie, there's the players that are available are all playing today. I think that shows you how serious Pep wants to take this game after the break. And I just think it's magnificent for the younger lads that are coming in. There's a lot on the bench, but the ones that are starting as well to have the experience of playing with De Bruyne, Haaland, Mahrez, Gundogan. It's what they'll get from that. That's something that money can't buy. That experience. Being in and around the team in a match day and getting the chance to actually get minutes in the pitch with them. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see all of the first team players that are available, starting. So just to confirm there, Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Cole Palmer, Riyad Mahrez, Erling Haaland, Stefan Ortega, all starting, which I think is wonderful in terms of the challenge for today's game. But like Paul said there, Shaun, having the younger players slot in, so a Katonga, a Charles. I mean, we still got to say Rico Lewis, just because he's played a handful of first team games, he's still a young player. For them to have this opportunity today to step up. I mean, we saw Rico Lewis, what happened after he had that, he played well in America. He got the chance in first team games, so it's a great opportunity. Great opportunity,
and he's continued to impress. And this is why, again, Pep doesn't do any favors and says, well, I'm just gonna have a player in the team just because he's young. He deserves it, and he's somebody that deserves it. And I'm sure, it's funny because I see him now and again in the building with the academy, and I'm thinking he's a first team player, but he goes back, he trains hard, and then he goes back to the first team, and he knows that's the standard. So he just continues to work hard. So really looking forward to him continuing on where he left off.
I think it's a great marker for these young lads today, especially ones that are starting. We've got a big game against Liverpool next week. Still got other players to come back, whether that's going to be too soon for the players that aren't here yet. So they could really stake a claim to be over at the Etihad next week for the Liverpool game.
Now, it's a difficult conversation, I think, for in terms of Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan. Obviously, they'll be extremely disappointed to have been back here early, hoping that their countries... I mean, I think we all expected their countries to go a lot further in the World Cup. How do you think mentally it's going to be for them, Shaun, the disappointment of not going further in the World Cup?
Yeah, it's a brilliant question because... Again, the boys left on high in terms of how we're performing, how we're playing. De Bruyne, the world's best player, all of these things, and then he didn't perform. Kevin De Bruyne didn't perform to the levels, and that's somewhat to do with the team. I mean, we saw some of the stuff that was going on there in-house and with Belgium, but. Again, when you step back in the dressing room, I would imagine he looks back around the dressing room and goes, it's Gundogan, it's Erling, and the players to go on and on and on, and you just think, and it's almost like the confidence just comes right back, and the natural confidence just comes back. So I would imagine they would have had an in-house game and perhaps this game, and I think he'll just look to kick on.
I think initially they would have been disappointed because, you know, Germany, as you said, Natalie, Belgium, we all expected them to go a lot further than what they did. You know, but after they've had a couple of days rest, you know, not at their level at all. I remember being away in international duty and having disappointing results. There was quite a few disappointing results when I was playing for Scotland, mind you. But the one thing you can't wait to do is to get back into your club environment and see your teammates.
Yeah.
You know, somewhere where is so familiar to you. It's their happy place, you know, coming into the changing room, playing in these games. So the disappointment, yeah, but I think very quickly they'll get over that because they're top professionals.
Yeah, Paul's absolutely right, because you spend an unbelievable amount of time together, almost more time you spend with your family. So coming back is almost like coming back home. You know, it's like the boys coming back home and then seeing each other. So I'm pretty much sure that you know, when they walk through the door, with the disappointment is also a happiness, like, hey, and you know, getting back together.
Well, I think we feel like that as fans as well. I mean, I know I do. When I go back to Etihad, it's like you save space again. You're like, well, I'm okay here. I know that I'm happy here. And the fans that are already coming inside the Academy Stadium, I'm sure they're feeling exactly the same. You know, 5 weeks since we last saw our men's team playing. And I bet they're coming back feeling like this is their safe space. So I like that, Shaun.
Yes.
That's a lovely positive. You're always good at putting a positive spin on things.
Yeah, I just feel that's the way it'll be, because again, you know, I mean, you have good relationships within teams, but it's because you spend so much time together. Paul and I, you know, even after we finished, the minute we got back together, it's almost like we seen each other only a week ago, and you know, it's for me, I just think it's great team spirit as well.
I think the World Cup, they've been away for so long. And away from their families as well, you know, not just their teammates in the club.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be a little bit of relief. Look, they'll never admit it. Maybe coming back a little bit early and getting ready for, because look, from Boxing Day onwards, from the 22nd next week onwards, it's going to be relentless. You know, so having that little break before they go back into it will probably do them a lot of good.
Yes, okay, I like that. We always manage to find the positives there. If you're just joining us, very welcome to Match Day Live. We're so happy to be back with you all as our men's team take on Girona. It is a 1 p.m. UK kickoff. The only place to watch this game today, well, there's two places. On City Plus, if you are a member. If you're not a member, then you can get on to our Recast channel. That is the place today. So visit our Recast channel. All the information you need is on the screen, and click on the link in the video description as well to do that on our Recast and on our app as well. That is the place. Now, you're not going to want to miss it as well. Certainly, you see the team is going along the bottom of the screen there for you as well, because all of the first team players that are here, that are back from the World Cup or didn't travel to the World Cup, are playing today. So this is your chance to just see how rested Erling Haaland really is, because for me, gents, you know, again, disappointed. I would love to see Erling Haaland in the World Cup. I would love to see him against the best players in the world. But honestly, Shaun, I'm quite happy that he's had his feet up for 5 weeks.
Yes, well, listen, I'm sure he would have had his feet up probably 2 weeks, and I think then he would have then been ticking over, probably going into the third week. Up until now, he would have been just ticking himself over. So really looking forward to seeing him. Be interesting, you know, I know we're probably going to it a bit later, but interesting when, you know, Alvarez comes back, and depending on how he does, because I don't know, but if I walk back in the dressing room, right, and all the respect I have for my players, if I've won the World Cup, I don't know if it changes. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it changes, but that's also to do with good team spirit, because players, a humble player will still come in and still be at the same level, if that makes sense, in terms of respecting and also being respected back. Yes. If that makes sense.
I think going back to Erling, he'll be chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
You know, he would have been watching his teammates, probably with a little bit of envy out there in the World Cup, and he wants to play at the top level all the time. But you know, having that break, like you said, wrap him up in cotton wool. He had that little niggle in his foot as well. Just before the break-up, you know, there's a couple of games he was on the bench, he missed a game, so having that rest time and everything else, you know, I'm sure he got a bit of sun in his back. I've seen his Instagram, he was out in Marbella somewhere, I think he was
playing golf.
Absolutely, and then obviously in Abu Dhabi as well. But look, he's ridiculous, isn't he? You know, I still think it's mad the amount of goals he's got already. We're not even at Christmas yet.
I think I've forgotten how many goals he scored, you know, Shaun.
It's in the 20s. He's in the 20s. I just think, you know, for him, like, the form he was on prior to the break, he would have been just like, of all the years, we don't want to have this break. We don't want to be having this. But the one thing he'll be wanting to do is perform well. I'm sure he'd want to score today, but he'll want to perform well, because performing well allows him to go on and score goals. Goes on to score goals. So I think he'll want to, just perform well.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, you're seeing the players arriving inside the Academy Stadium today. There's Riyad Mahrez. He was shivering. He walked right past us and he was shivering.
Yeah, shorts on.
Did he?
Yes, he has shorts. I thought, well, he's a bit brave.
He's a mank now.
Bit of Scottish in him somewhere, I think.
Oh yeah, because you always find a mank, no matter how cold it is, wearing shorts. So he's now an honorary mank. Of course, Riyad Mahrez having the last 5 weeks as well. Paul, I'm sure he was, absolutely devastated that Algeria didn't make the World Cup. So he's had 5 weeks off. How do you think he will have found that time? What are you sort of expecting back from him for this game and for the second half of the season as well?
I know we're talking about some of the younger boys maybe putting a marker down today. For players like Riyad and Cole Palmer, who we had before, they can go out there today and after having the break, let's keep talking about the Liverpool game next week and then the run of games I've got after Christmas. So, he would have been sitting watching the World Cup, probably wishing that he had been there. Especially seeing the other North African teams doing really well, and wanting to be there. But I feel like he's a top player, and he's been in and out a little bit. So, might be a friendly today, but this is a chance for him to really go out there and show that he's in form.
I would imagine it would have absolutely motivated me if I was Mahrez and I'm watching the World Cup, just missed out, etc. I would have been so motivated to watching games, and when I'd have had a little rest, but been doing a bit of extra training. So I imagine he'll be one of those players you'll be seeing right on it, because he'll have looked at the World Cup and been motivated, like one or two others that weren't involved as well.
Wow. Well, you'll just be seeing now, looking over my shoulder. Hello. Pep, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming over and chatting to us. That's so kind of you. How have you found the last 5 weeks?
Yeah, good. Little break. Abu Dhabi 1 week, and after here, yeah, good.
And during that break, of course, we had the incredible news. We are also absolutely thrilled that you are staying on your new contract. Were you thinking, what is... yes, you are going to be joining us. Thank you. We are absolutely thrilled. Tell us how happy you were about the new contract.
A lot. So thank you so much. So the club,
thank you.
No, absolutely.
You made my house so very happy, I can tell you.
Yeah, thank you.
We was excited. Congratulations. Really pleased that you've extended everything. And my house was absolutely buzzing. So lovely.
Pep, how have you found the break? It's the first time it's ever happened, having the break for the World Cup.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird because we were in Abu Dhabi, really good training camp, but just 3 players and a half, because Erling even was not ready still to take a training session. There were a few people, but for the staff, for all of us, and good environment, the country owner, so take care of us really, really well.
In terms of today's game, all of the first team players that are available in here, they're all starting today. Does that give us the indication of sort of how serious and how important you're taking this game in terms of their training and progress?
Well, it's the only game we have before Liverpool and Leeds, so we need to play a little bit games to know how they feel. And for Kevin, it's not a problem because we're the World Cup, but for Riyad, for Sergio, for Erling, that there were a break, so we need time. But we could not organize games because we don't have players, and that's why we could not do it. And it's perfect for us and come our, for the City Football Group Girona, come here and in these beautiful weather conditions to play a game.
Yeah. So would today be used to just get a rhythm? Because people are coming back in different
of course. Remember our patterns, of course, for the players, each other, for the academy players. For me, for all of us, it's so good to see them how they behave, because maybe we will need him during the season. Of course, we know Rico, we know Morgan, we know a few players, but for the other one, it's so important to see them against a team of first division in Spain. So it will be good for us, definitely.
Thank you so much
You're
for
very
coming and
welcome.
chatting to us. Hope you have a lovely Christmas. Will you be at home with your family? What's Christmas Day in your household?
We don't have games in a Boxing Day, so we can give to the players and staff 24, 25. Yeah, family time, of course. Family time.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
Well,
Thank you again. Lovely to see you. Thank you. Oh, wasn't that a lovely Merry Christmas to us all? That was an unexpected gift.
It was. Well, I opened up the package already, eh?
Yes.
You can tell that he's that he's ready to get back into it as well, can't you?
Yeah.
You know, and saying he enjoyed the break, a bit of sun and everything else, but I'm pretty sure he would have been, how intense he is, the way he is, and how he wants the team to play. He needs to be in around the players that he'll be desperate to get the players back out there today. I think it was a great point about the young academy kids that he made as well. You know, this is obviously Rico, we've seen him, he's played and everything else, but the other kids who are in there today, it gives them a chance to see if they can really step up.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal, you know, having him here, because being at the academy and so learning how we coach and stuff, and a lot of the information is trickled down from Pep and sort of his philosophy. And I can tell you, I've learned so much, because the game is it's not only just about the 11 players, but it's about the spaces and how we can move players out of spaces to take advantage. And sometimes we just simply say, you know, we've created that space, but sometimes